So we'll go to Fiona now, and Fiona is from the Kidney Alliance. Welcome to the programme. Good morning.
Good morning, Phil.
Having the Monday blues this morning, you know.
Yeah, so I hear. It sounded a bit like that.
Oh dear. Right, so welcome to the programme, and tell us about the organisation then.
Okay, well, thanks very much for inviting me on. I'm actually involved with a couple of kidney groups. I live in St Albans. One of them is the Kidney Alliance, as you've rightly said, but the other is a group I'd like to speak about today, if that's okay, which is the Lister Kidney Foundation. Yeah. Now, I'm chair of that group, and it's a local kidney patients group which looks after people with kidney disease in Hertfordshire and South Bedfordshire. Now, I don't know if your listeners will know that, but there's a unit in Stevenage, the Lister Hospital in Stevenage, but there are also dialysis units at Luton and Dunstable in the hospital there, and at St Albans City Hospital. So we cover patients across quite a wide area of the county, and as I say, a bit into South Bedfordshire as well. And we're really responsible for doing what we can. We are a group of kidney patients, and we are responsible for looking after anybody who suffers from kidney disease, and particularly for people who are on dialysis at those various units.
Okay, yes, very, very important, and you obviously have a lot of hard work to do. This is something that a lot of people need the service for, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, not that many people will end up with dialysis, but there are far more people on it than you might think.
Well, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, across the country, there's probably about 50 or 60,000 people with what's called end-stage kidney failure, and about half of that number will be on dialysis. So, for example, our local group, we look after, say, 400 or 500 people, but we actually reach out to about 1,000 people, and that's just the tip of it in this area. So there'll be several hundred people dialysing between those various units, and our job as a local kidney group is just to raise funds and help cheer people up as well. So, So for example, this week we've put some of our monies that we've raised towards looking after Christmas time. So we paid for the Christmas decorations, and we've paid for little bottles of something sparkly, and some Christmas cakes and crackers and things, and Christmas trees to go around the wards, the dialysis wards, because these are all outpatients who have to come into hospital at least 3 times a week for quite a few hours to have their dialysis treatment, whereby their blood is cleaned by a machine because of the fact their kidneys aren't working anymore.
Now, people are waiting for a transplant, if that's possible.
That's right.
I know that's not directly your area, but obviously you're looking after the area of before that. Tell us a little bit about that, though.
Well, I think I would say that transplantation actually is our area as well. It's all of those things. Really.
It is really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because you can't really divorce one from the other. And as you rightly say, not everybody is able to have a transplant, but plenty of our members, in fact, I'm one of them, have had transplants, and so that's why we're doing what we can to help other people who perhaps aren't able to have one because of the nature of their illness or whatever it is. So, there's a number of things. If people might be at risk of kidney problems because perhaps somebody in their family has had some kind of kidney disease before, and unfortunately it's particularly it's more likely in people from Black and Asian groups as well. For some reason, it seems to go that way, especially people who've had or who have diabetes. We'd always urge those kind of people to go off and just ask their doctor, their regular GP, to give them a quick check. Quick blood test and urine test is a good way to find out. But then, as I say, some people will unfortunately progress through to kidney failure. Not that many, but enough people that will need this kind of attention. And those people, when their kidneys don't work very well, the disease is very quiet. That's the problem. You often don't know until it's a bit too late. And then all that can be done is you can just have your blood pressure and so forth looked after. And it may well be then that you do have to go on to dialysis, in which case you do need quite a lot of care and attention, because those dialysis machines, which clean out your blood, keep you alive. Because your own natural kidneys aren't doing the job for you, and for example, many people whose kidneys fail, they don't pee anymore, because that's not something that they're able to do. So the machines have to take off the fluid as well.
Now, I guess there is a shortage as well for people to have a transplant.
There is indeed, and not everybody whose kidneys fail are able to go onto the transplant list. So just getting onto the list is a good achievement. But there are probably, I think there's about 7,000 or 8,000 people in the country who on the transplant list who need kidneys. There are other people as well who will probably be even more urgent, who need hearts and lungs and so forth. If I just talk about kidneys, and then the average waiting time, well, there is no such thing as an average, because I have plenty of friends that I know that waited 9 and 10 years to get a transplant.
Wow, right.
I waited for 5 years, and I was never called, and in the end my husband came forward and gave me his kidney. So it really, I mean, and some people can be incredibly lucky, and their number will come up. It's a bit like the lottery, I suppose.
Is it a lottery, or is it done on any kind of a basis of, people that need it more and...
Well, yes,
whatever.
I suppose I was using. I mean, as a patient, you see it a little bit as a lottery.
Yeah.
But there is an algorithm. It is managed by a series of transplant coordinators, and it's an IT system. It's a computer system that will balance off a whole series of things, such as how long you've been on the list. If you're under 18, of course, that will give you extra points, if you like, because children will get some kind of priority, and I guess you could say that's rightly so. So there'll be a whole series of algorithms that will go in, and then if an organ comes up, obviously you need to match as well. You need to have some kind of a blood group match as well. So there's a whole series of ducks that have to line up before you are likely to get that call, which says, we've got a kidney that may be for you. Would you like to come in to the hospital, and we'll see if we can make that one work.
Right, and you can stay on a machine, though, indefinitely, can you? Or
well,
not necessarily.
Until you die, really.
Really?
Because
as long as there's one available.
That is obviously an issue, but and we do have our National Health Service does do that, whereby it does provide enough machines to support people, but sometimes that's difficult. For example, at the moment at the hospital, the unit in Stevenage has reached capacity. Because we need new units. There are tenders out to build units in Bedford and Harlow, but because that takes quite a long time to come through the system, there'll be people who are dialysing in places that perhaps aren't very close to their homes, because that's where the nearest machines are at the moment until new facilities can be bought.
And they're very expensive machines, I guess.
They are very expensive, but there is a move, and actually we are very lucky here in Hertfordshire. We've got some quite visionary doctors who've put together and using some new technology, so some people are able to dialyse at home.
I was just wondering that. Yes.
Yeah,
what sort of cost is it for a machine anyway?
Well, I think it can be anything, up to 100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really how long is a piece of string and how big and fancy you need your machine to be. But yes, they are a fairly serious sort of investment.
Not something you can buy yourself normally, though.
No, you wouldn't pop down to your local chemist and buy it.
How do we find out more generally about things? Just give us a way of getting in touch with you.
Okay, well, if you'd like to find out about the Lister Kidney Foundation and anything that we do, because as I say, we're a fundraising group, and if you think to yourself, I'd like to do something, we have people sometimes that do parachute jumps. So not, of course, that I'm advocating that at all. Could be something smart.
Where do we get to that?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But we can help with that. But you can go online. We've got a website. It's www.listerkidneyfoundation.org. That's listerkidneyfoundation.org. O-R-G.
Right. Fascinating stuff and very interesting. Thank you very much for joining us, Fiona.
Well, thank you very much, and if I could just wish you and all your listeners a very happy Christmas.
And to you too.
Thanks so much.
Now.
Cheerio. Bye.